What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality or whatever, period. I'm your host, Pharaoh, and today, as you see, we are joined by Austin from Survivor 45. How are you feeling today, Austin?
Doing great, man. Super excited to be here talking with you. And
Yes,
we
sir.
got a pretty fun episode to talk through. So
Oh,
I'm glad to be here for this one.
yes. How you been? Some people haven't seen you since Survivor 45. How have you been since then? What's been going on in your life?
Oh my gosh, since Survivor 45. I mean, it's crazy. That was now like what 2023 it aired, which is insane. It aired 2.5 years ago was when it started off. It's just like things have just been I mean, ever since going on Survivor, it's been nonstop, you know, like I came back and I went straight back into grad school, had to take some summer classes to make up for the quarter that I dropped out to play. And then, you know, started a new job after that, moved to LA, moved in with my girlfriend, and just things just keeps happening. And it's been a lot of fun, you know, and obviously, you know, since then there's been what now 5 seasons now since mine. So it's just, it's kind of crazy, you know. I'm old news. I'm old new era now.
Do you feel? I wouldn't say you're old news. Do you feel like you've gotten more into Survivor after playing, gotten less into Survivor after playing, or has it been the same?
I mean, I think the most I ever got into Survivor was like the year before playing, because like especially going through the casting, like my entire life was Survivor. Like every waking moment I was preparing like some way or the other. Like the few months leading up, I was working out 2-3 hours a day. I was, you know, the only show that I watched was Survivor, you know, maybe Australian Survivor, reruns of other seasons of Survivor.
Australia.
Studying. Yeah, man. So, I mean, that was probably my peak. I still love Survivor, and I still watch every single episode, of course.
Okay,
I love talking about Survivor, and a lot of my really close friends now came from Survivor. So I would say I'm still in it, but it's a different relationship. You know, I'm not like like studying the game as much anymore. But I'm just enjoying it and enjoying like the community that it's given me.
That's really good. How talk more about the community in general? Because I know like after these shows, I watch Big Brother. After Big Brother, they start to like kind of collectivize, and after Survivor, we see you guys kind of group up. Was that experience like immediate? Did it take time? As new seasons come, is it automatic? Okay, cool. Y'all are my new brothers and sisters. What's that like?
Yeah, no, it kind of is that, where you just like immediately you go in and it's just like, all right, like a new season comes on. It's like, wow, like we've been through this thing together. Like we're homies. And it's super interesting too, because obviously when you play and, you know, there's lying happening, there's deceit, there's like all these complicated emotions that you come back from. And like, it depends on your cast. It depends on, you know, how much effort you're going to put in mending relationships and keeping in touch with people. But I was really lucky to be in a season where immediately afterwards, we kind of like hashed it all out and became good friends. You know, the season after me, 46, was not quite like that. People probably still hate each other to their core. But I've been super lucky. Like some of my best friends now from the cast are people who I would have never expected. Like I hang out with Brando and Jay Maya all the time. And obviously our paths like were against each other during my season. And it just goes to show like it is really such a community. And I think now people, including me when I went on, and you know, you go into the show excited for the community that comes with it afterwards, because all of us are such big fans of the show. And, you know, we want to be hanging out with fans and going to RHAP events or whatever, and, you know, meeting all the players. And it's been so fun. And I think it's definitely a big selling point for why people want to be on Survivor, because it is such a great community.
Sure. Damn, that's so cool. That's very exciting. And it feels good to hear, because it's like we see it, or the fans, we can observe, but all the time we don't hear about the experience of the people who are experiencing it. So it's cool to hear that it is such a positive thing for you, honestly. So let's talk about the episode. Let's talk about these first. What do you feel about Survivor 50 so far? Because it's only really been 2 episodes.
I mean, it has surpassed all expectations. It is
I know that's
awesome.
right.
I think any question on the cast is out the window. Like this cast is giving it, you know. I always think like when you're looking at a cast, there's how each player is and as a character individually, but like almost bigger is like how well they mesh together. And I think that's true. Cast really meshes well, you know?
Now, did you feel that way about the cast before the season started? Or were you like, hold on, why am I not there? What was you thinking?
I wasn't too much like, why wasn't I there? You know, maybe I was like, why ain't my boy Drew there? Or, you know, why is Bryce there? You know, like, but at the same time, it was like, I know they have this master plan. I know they figure like they put so many hours that I couldn't even comprehend into creating it. I was skeptical at first, you know, like many people were like, you know, why are there 3 people from 48? Why are there so many like new era people and missing these seasons and this season? But I haven't thought that once since the season started, really.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the opening montage started, I think I never thought that ever again.
Yeah. No, honestly, it feels cool. Like when you see every time we have a returning season, I feel like it feels that way. And they kind of deprived us of one for so long, like this 5-year span of these past 40 seasons. And it's like now that we're getting it, it just feels, I don't know, it feels elevated every time you see all of these faces that you recognize them. So I agree. Honestly, I've liked them. Some people haven't liked the episodes, but I've liked them for the most part. Last episode, I think I liked the premiere a little better than last episode because last episode was a lot of character stuff. I want to see them like play the game. But what were your thoughts on last episode? You know, Christian was pooping his pants, child.
I mean, this episode really like Christian is a star. Like that was so funny. I mean, like the fact that him taking a dump in his pants was only like one of 5 really crazy moments that he had. Like by the end of the episode, I almost forgot that he did that because of all the things that he did afterwards.
Exactly.
And it was just such a funny episode, man. Like I was smiling, laughing the entire time. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I love Christian. Who do you feel like gameplay wise you got your eyes on after watching this last episode?
Oh, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, like the obvious one is like the whole Christian Rick duo. Like that has a potential to be an all-time duo. Like that's just so much fun. How all they want to do is throw on a show, you know, play ruthless, be entertaining, and that's so much fun to watch.
And fuck Emily.
Oh, no. Trust me, I will never forget Emily.
Okay.
So that is a fun trio. I will say I would be terrified if I were on that tribe, knowing that Emily, Rick, and Christian are there, and they will have their way with whoever else is on that tribe with them. So that's scary. But yeah, I think they can really do some damage. We're really learning a lot about that tribe specifically, just because they're going to tribal so many times.
Yeah, they flopping.
Yeah. I was thinking, you know, on my season, Emily went to every single tribal council except for one. And then now she's 2 for 2. Like there's got to be some record she either has hit or is close to hitting.
Yeah.
So Queen Emily, you know.
Queen Emily. I agree. I'm seeing Christian is just like in your face, like, and he's playing so well, almost surprisingly. It seems like I don't know what it is about these games, but it seems like when people come back, it's inevitable for them to just go back into their ways. We see Coach. He's like being Coach again. Are you a Coach fan?
Listen,
or Ozzy, team Coach or team Ozzy?
That's tough. I mean, like if I had to pick one or the other, I have to go team Coach just because he has been my favorite character for years now.
Really?
I mean, I just remember watching him in Tocantins, and every scene he was in was just like I was cheesing. Like it's just so I it's tough to make that, but like anyone you match up against Coach, like I'll probably say Coach.
What about this scenario? This specific, my back was breaking, trying to grab the key, and then Coach is like, well, I mean, I never agree. What do you think of that? What's that?
I think all for Coach for doing that. I thought it was hilarious. I also don't think like, okay, Ozzy knocked down the key, but that's only like part 1 of 2 of the challenge. Like,
so you would have snatched the key too.
Yeah, I would go for the key. I don't think knocking it down claims it as your key. I mean, I agree. There's like some nuances. Like, okay, do I want to let this person get it just to build an alliance with them, especially if we had so much history in the back and like this could really bolster something great. Coach is in a weird position, but I think in general, I would go for it because like, you just knocked it down. I'm going to grab it, you know,
honestly. All right. What else about the episode? What do you think of Savannah went home? What do you think of that?
I mean, I think
you were surprised.
Well, I thought going in a tribal, like everyone's eyes were on like Joe or Ozzy, and like you know, Savannah was kind of like it was kind of weird because you know, I was kind of hoping there'd be like, you know, she'd be like, oh, you know, I was a winner. I'm so good at this. Like, I feel confident, you know, and then like, bam. But it kind of like came under the radar. It was like we didn't really hear from her too much towards the end going into tribal, that she kind of like left my thought as like, oh, she might be in danger. And then she got sniped at the very end. So I thought it was fun, but like, I was kind of surprised at like how quick it just all happened. You know?
Yeah. Kind of anticlimactic for the previous winner. Like that episode felt like it didn't feel like her episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I think my theory is like, maybe it's because she did just win. So they're like, we don't need to spend the time to give her that whatever. But I think she's still respectable, even though I have my thoughts, no shade. But I think I still appreciate her. What do you think of her as a game player now that like her legacy is kind of here? We got it all already. She won. Yeah, I mean, came back.
There's no denying the legacy of someone who won, you know, exactly. Like she won. So like, even if she was first out, it didn't even matter. Like she's a Survivor winner. So that will forever be cemented. I think she was very entertaining. Like I was like mixed on 49, especially in the beginning, like whether like I was rooting for her or against her. But I did realize more like this season watching, like every scene she's in, whether like I agree with what she's doing or whatever, it's like entertaining. Like
that's true.
She like wears it on her face. I thought like the whole thing with her, I think it was episode 1, we're being like, oh, how do you guys think I did? Oh, I won, you know, like I thought it was like, what that felt so awkward. I don't know, but it was entertaining, you know, and like even like her journey with Colby, it was like her being like, oh, you got this, and she like very clearly does not want him to get it. Just funny stuff. It just like, I don't know. It was very entertaining. I think this season we'll miss her a little bit, but yeah,
that's real. What about Riz God? Like, are you a fan of Riz God? Were you a fan of him in 49? What's it giving for him?
Yeah, no, I was for sure a fan of him on 49. I think it is funny. Like, I love his arc that he's been having, like being like this super crazy, like over the top, loud, new era Gen Z guy.
He's annoying.
And then, and then humbling down, and then Colby being like, oh, you know what? I actually kind of like him now. And then him having a confessional this episode being like, yeah, like I think I tricked them. Like I think I calmed down enough and my perceptions changed. But it was interesting. Like I'm wondering if his perception really has changed, or because it seemed like they kind of just were like, hey, like we lost Kyle. Let's just kind of drag Rizzo over with us. And then Rizzo's like, look at me. I'm on top of the tribe right now. Like I'm so good. So I'm very curious how that turns out, because there might be a little mismatch between what he's thinking and what the rest of the tribe is thinking.
I agree. Man, I've been a Riz Godinator for the whole 49. I'm still on Team Riz God. I'm here. I think he got it. I think he got it in the bag. I think he can make it all the way to the end again. Honestly, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I mean, like he is. Now that Savannah's gone, I feel like he's become way less threatening too. And you know, I feel like when you've got such intense strategic players there, and then you've got this goofy Riz God, I could totally see him making his way towards the end again, you know, like just being underestimated.
Exactly. Okay, I got one more question about the episode before we move forward.
Yeah.
You are Rick Devens, and you're sitting there next to Joe, and Joe is starting to... And Joe starts to ask you about the conversation you had with Savannah and why did you lie to him and what are you doing? What do you feel about that, King?
I mean, I'm feeling like, bro, like seriously, like
that was crazy.
I'll let you have your conversations. You let me have mine. Like we're good. Don't worry. But honestly, what I'd probably do is similar to Rick, but I would hope I would do it a little bit better and just being like, oh yeah, like, you know, she was just like telling me to, you know, whatever. Like maybe like she just wants to know what we're talking about. And, you know, I told her like, I'd tell her later or something, but don't worry, I'm not going to do that or something, you know, like, I don't know. It was just like very awkward. And like, as intense as it was of Joe, which like, I agree in the sense, like that would be pretty frustrating to play with because it is like restrictive. I also think it is sketchy of Rick to kind of just whisper right in front of him before talking and be like, hey, yeah, let's go talk. By the way, okay. Like that was kind of sketchy too. So I see both sides, and I think both sides kind of overreacted it and turned it into something more. Because I feel like they both burned each other like over something so stupid. Like they could be working together, but now both of them are just like anti each other over some ridiculous thing that didn't need to happen. Which honestly, I will say, if Savannah did that on purpose, like that is some
she kind of ate that up,
you know, just like, you know, and then she just goes just a constant chaos. Like, she doesn't even have to say anything. Just be like, hey, Rick, before you go, like just
exactly. And then Joe spins the block on it. He comes back after talking to Savannah and talks to him again. It's like, it's a lot going on. I thought Joe was interesting this episode. I was like, ooh, like you came out your shell. Maybe he came back too fast. I don't know how long it had been since, what, a couple of months. Like maybe that's what it was. Cause I'm like, you're a little tense, King. I need him to chill out.
I know. It's like when Eva's not there, things are a little more intense now. She's not reeling him back or something. I don't know.
Clock that T. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Austin, I'm going to pull up some clips. You might recognize the clips, and I want to hear your thoughts on them. So,
okay, I guess I probably will recognize them.
Let's do that.
Let's see. What are we about to witness?
First clip. What should I choose? We'll start off with Origin. Let's watch.
My name's Austin. I'm 25 years old, and there literally has not been a day in the past 3 years where I haven't daydreamed about being on Survivor. That said, though, I don't want you being like, oh, you know, he's just a typical NBA student, because I'm not. In fact, a lot of my friends, they think I'm a hippie. I got so stir crazy during the pandemic. Spontaneously, I went on this 3-week, 230-mile backpacking trip across the tallest peaks in the U.S.
Yes! How do we feel about that, King?
Oh, God. Good stop frame. Well, you know what? That's... Hey, you do what you have to do to get on the show, you know? So that's all it is. And, you know,
I've lied through that whole video.
Huh?
You said you do what you have to do. You was lying? What was that? What you mean?
No. You do. I wasn't lying. I'm just you know, it's just like, it just...
Is that not you? Is that not what you usually give?
Exactly. I don't just like go into my phone and start being like, yo, what's up? Like, my name's Austin. Like, please put me on Survivor. Just, oh, gosh. Well,
Lord.
I'm glad you found the one that ultimately got me on the show and not the one before that, which is probably not even on the internet. But yeah, no, that takes me back, you know, pre-mustache, pre-beard. This came from the islands of Fiji.
Oh yeah, I like the mustache and the beard. Like really,
I like yours too, man.
You better stop. Wait. No, I think first of all, tell me the tea on the one before this one because you brought it up. So what's tea on that one? You didn't like that?
Not really tea. It was just like it was maybe like 3 years before I applied first, like. Either 2019, like end of 2019, I think I applied the first time. Didn't get a call back, didn't hear anything. Then I applied again, like early 2022, or no, mid August 2022. Ended up getting on 45, but I mean, it was just like I was just so much more awkward. Like you have to really train your ability to talk to a camera when you're just like no one else is there. You're not really talking to anybody else. You're just like. It's just like a different muscle. And when you go through the casting process, you kind of get trained on this because you're like, you know, doing different activities and tasks around like, you know, presenting to a camera or on Zoom or whatever. But like, I just was not prepared for it the first time. And I had notes I was kind of reading off. I was super stiff. It was before I did Accutane too. So like you know, I was quite pepperoni faced.
When you were younger, you were like what, 20 something, like early 20s?
I think I was at that point. I was like 23 maybe when I first applied, and then second time, maybe I was 22 the first time, and then 25 the second. I ended up playing when I was 26. Yeah.
Why the break with the videos? Was it that you were focused on school, or what was going on during that time?
What was going on? Well, I was still watching a lot of Survivor. I think I was busy with my job. And I just like, I guess it just wasn't a priority, you know, COVID happened and it just wasn't like, I always wanted to play, but I wanted first to like, make sure that like I improved. I was like, I never got a call back. I have to like work on myself, find some cool new hobbies, do some more interesting things, maybe try getting an accomplishment or two just to be a more compelling applicant. And like I did, like I mentioned that video, I did the John Muir Trail, which was like before Survivor, probably the coolest thing I'd ever done, which is like, it was like a 230-mile hike in the Sierra Mountains. And that was so fun. And the whole time I was doing that, I remember I was just thinking about Survivor and being like, and I was in so much pain and miserable and hungry and I hated sleeping outside. It's like, if I can't do this, I can't do Survivor. I just got to keep pushing through. And I was just like thinking, putting all these like, you know, plans in my head and all these things. And, eventually, ended up applying again and getting through it. But yeah, so
that's really cool though. So you decided to do that, and it was how many days that you were out there hiking and shit? What is that?
I was hiking for about 3 weeks, like 20 days.
3 weeks.
So. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it was during COVID too, so it was like
insane.
I went with one of my buddies, and we just hiked the whole thing, and so I did that. So that helped me like kind of get my confidence up, get the experience, and then I did I went and I got a Guinness World Record too to help bolster my application as well.
Okay.
Actually, so I moved in to my girlfriend's place like a few months ago, and I haven't fully decorated. I have the plaque right.
Let's see the plaque. Bring the come on. Yes.
All right. This is my Guinness World Record.
Whoa.
It is the most nuts thrown and caught in a can on the head in 1 minute.
I know that's right.
Is 93.
I like those words. Okay, period. Okay, you ate that up. So you got your Guinness World Record. You did your big hike for 3 weeks, which is crazy, and then you got on
Casting loved the nuts record. So if anyone's applying, find some ridiculous world record, beat it, and just they'll love talking to you about
that's it. That's right. So some people might not know that you were actually an alternate for your season. Like
I know, I should have gotten 100 nuts. Only got 93.
That's what it was. It was the nuts. What is the experience like as an alternate? Do you feel like it had you in a different headspace going in? Do you feel like it made you more motivated? Do you feel like it changed anything at all? Or
for sure. I think it had a lot of impact. I would have much rather not been an alternate. I think there's like some benefits, but I think for the most part, it does make things tougher. I mean, like. The benefit is that when I went out to play, because I was told that I was going to play like 3 days before the game actually started. So I didn't have as much time to like psych myself out and be like, oh my gosh, like, what if I get first voted out? What if this happens or that? I just like went out and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on house money. I'm just going to have a good time. I'm going to play my hardest. And like any day I'm out here is a day that I didn't think I was going to get. And that was like a mentality shift that I was able to have, which helped. But on the flip side, the entire preparation process was kind of like screwed because I was like, most people had like 2-3 months to like fully prepare or whatever, knowing that they're going to be on and like train really hard. I was still training really hard. I was fasting. I was like, I went 3 days without eating to make sure I could make to the first tribal council. I was working out 2-3 hours a day, but like in the back of my head, I was just like, it was hard at times because I was like, what am I doing this for? Like, I'm not hanging out with friends. I'm not going to these parties my buddies are going to. I'm like, just like in the gym or I'm just watching TV, like Survivor. And like, there's like a 10% chance I was going to play, but I knew that like in the off chance I was going to be able to play, I didn't want to have any regrets, but it definitely made that period much harder and just had questions or like moments where I was like questioning, like, what am I doing this for? Like,
that's real.
I can't let this take over my life because I'm just going to go back and not play,
but you did play.
But I ended up getting play. Yeah, it was worth it. So I have no complaints. I'm so glad I still was preparing and stuff. That said, I would have prepared even more. Like, I would have fully dropped out of school.
Damn, I know that's right.
That I was gonna play and just like taking summer class because I ended up having to drop out of that quarter anyways when I got on. So I would have just gone ahead of doing and did that. So instead of like spending hours every day working on my schoolwork or whatever, I've been able to prep more. Study more. Survivor, practice more puzzles, work on like my grip strength or whatever. But I didn't get that opportunity. But it was fun. Yeah.
That's another reason I brought that clip up, because you did speak about your MBA. I know that you graduated. I don't know how recent that was, but I know that you did graduate with it. So that's really impressive. I'm excited. And you also brought it up in your interview when you were first talking about, you were like, well, I need to win so I can pay off these student loans, King. So I think that's just impressive. I love that you're like, you value your education. Do you want to talk more about that? Like, what made you go into that like degree? What made you do that career? What was your
for sure. And you know what? This is like, I've answered this question a million times through my MBA app. So like I've got this. So well, basically, and this is what I would tell all the MBA programs interviewing there and all that stuff. But after undergrad, so I studied economics in undergrad, and I went to do economic consulting. So I lived in DC for like 3.5-4 years. And economic consulting, it's like a niche area of consulting where pretty much I would just like nose down into like spreadsheets, coding, like all this data work and writing these long expert testimonies for like 10 hours a day. And it was like, so I really did not, I didn't vibe with
it. Wasn't
that.
for you. It wasn't for you.
Yeah. I wanted to pivot completely. And like, I learned of this career path called brand management, which is where I'm at now.
Okay.
And basically it's like, you are like the CEO of a brand of a company. So like, if you take like, you know, like PepsiCo, like they've got like Doritos, they've got Fanta, they've got Pepsi, they've got all these like separate brands in their like bigger company. So you kind of like own one of those brands and make like the decisions for that. And that was something I wanted to do just because like my end goal is like do entrepreneurial things, start my own business. So I want to get like real practice and training on that. So
that's nice.
Thought that the MBA was the right move to do that pivot and get away from the boring spreadsheets every day. So
yeah, that's really cool. I like that. And I like hearing more about it because there's so many different things that you can do with your degrees, without degrees, honestly. So just hearing more experiences from people, I think it's just helpful. It's like someone's listening, they can be like, well, shit, let me do brand.
Yeah, it's a good way to pivot for sure. For sure.
All right, I have another video.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm like nervous for these videos. Like,
not nervous.
From the depth of the internet, what are you going to pull out? I'm scared.
All right, let's go.
This is live.
This is an easy one.
Still, it's always cringy watching videos of myself, I will say, but that's a good one. Yeah,
it's a good one. Tell me about who is this person that you're in this video with? I don't think everyone knows who that is.
That is my lovely girlfriend, and
wonderful.
That was the day that we announced that we were together, and there was a lot of like, you know, we were dating for a full year before we like made it like, you know,
oh really,
or whatever, for a few reasons. I mean, the biggest one is obviously on my season I had like a little showmance, and you know, even to this day, I'll have people commenting on my things being like, oh my God, like what happened to you and D, or like, how are you? And we were nervous for a while that like, you know, we would announce it and then we would get some like backlash or people just being like, oh my God, like who is this girl? Like we don't want you guys to be together. Like what the heck? Like, or whatever, saying mean things that people do. Yeah. We were really nervous about it, but then eventually we announced it and everyone was like so nice and kind about it. And it was just awesome. And, you know, since then, like pretty much most of my social media is about her. So
real as it should be, period. I know that's right. Okay, that's wonderful. How did y'all meet? Because that is Jeff Probst's niece. So I'm assuming it was in association with Survivor in some way. Did you hit her up? Did she hit you up? Did you just meet in person? What's the tea? What's the story?
So the tea, it's kind of funny. She DM'd me actually.
I know that's right. Yes, Queen.
She DM'd me. Yeah, I know. Queen. Seriously. It was unusual for her. And unusual for me too. You know, whatever. Like I'm not used to getting a bunch of DMs and stuff, especially before Survivor. Yeah. But so she messaged me, and it was a very wholesome message. It was basically she messaged me November 1st, which is my mom's birthday. It was like at that point, maybe 5 episodes had aired. The sandwich arc just started. Like the whole and she messaged me basically being like, hey, like I'm Jeff's niece. I love watching. You know, I hope you get your revenge on the sandwiches or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're Jeff's niece? Like, that's so cool. Like I have so many questions. Like maybe we can meet up sometime. And she's like, actually, like at this time I was living in Chicago. She's like, actually, like I'm going to be in Chicago next week. Like my grandma lives there. So, and then I was like, oh, well, okay. Like, do you want to, you know, get lunch or coffee or maybe get some drinks or dinner? And she's like, let's go to the bar. Let's get some drinks. And at that point, I was like, oh, she wants to get drinks. I let her pick coffee.
And she said drinks.
Drinks.
She said she want to be a little tipsy. I know that's right. That's a good little path.
Yeah. So we met at a Starbucks Reserve. It was you know, we both got little espresso martinis. Okay. And then we went to Hampton Social nearby and they had these like, they have shells, like full, it's like a massive shell, and they've put like half a gallon of more espresso martini inside of it. We both
You're losing me. A shell? Like a
full massive shell. And we were you know, we only hung out, you know, a few hours. And I remember getting back home at like, I don't know, like 11:30 or something. I couldn't sleep till like 3 a.m. We had so many espresso martinis.
So, okay, now that time has passed, has she revealed that she was fully just DMing you because she wanted that? Or was it like she was actually trying to be funny?
She still denies it. She still denies it.
Oh, girl, we need to bring her in the room and really ask her. Like, she really needs to get asked. Okay, but no, that's still wonderful. I love the story. I just love love. I had to bring that up.
I love love too. And I'm glad you did too, especially after the first video you showed. This is a breath of fresh air. I'm down for this.
Okay, wait. I have to ask you something because we have to clear up a rumor. We were on the podcast yesterday. I don't even remember when this happened, but there's these allegations that when you and D were in canoodles, that D cheated or something along those lines. Clear it up, King, for the panel.
No, she, as far as I know, she never cheated on me.
Okay, period.
Basically, after the show ended, we I don't know, we were seeing each other for a few months. Like, we visited each other a couple times, but then it was like we ended it like before the season even started, like probably in like August or something.
Before it even aired.
Like, what?
Before it even aired, y'all had ended it before it aired.
Yeah. So like we got back in May. We were no longer a thing by August. Okay. I met Amanda in November. Probably honestly around the time where Dee and Wendell started becoming a thing. So yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, like
no overlap.
No overlap. So it's kind of funny, like, you know, when all you know, like I was starting to get tagged in all these things, being like, oh my gosh, poor Austin. Like,
yes.
Like, I wonder how he's doing. Someone check up on him. And I'm just like, what's
He's like, child, I'm happy, girl. I'm having espresso martinis in the show.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, I'm just chilling here, but whatever, you know.
Okay, I got one more video. Do I got one more? Hold on, not this one. Come on, look at that. I love that. Okay, I got one more video for boom.
Dude, it would be a breaking of a potentially epic duo.
We're gonna win over Emily.
I do not want to use these advantages yet, but the big question tonight is, do we trust Emily to work with us, or do we need to use all of our advantages?
I was 90% truthful. There was a choice. It's a very underwhelming one. But
I love this clip because this was after the tribe swap, and you and Drew are like needing Emily to join you, or else she can go with the other two, and then you guys won't have the numbers. You'll have to use your advantages. Yep. It was just like such a pivotal moment, and I feel like it really showcased like your gameplay, your strategic gameplay. Talk more about it, King. What was you feeling in that time?
Yeah, so that tribe swap, I was very excited for, because I felt like we were the tribe that all eyes were on. That was like, this was what was going to decide the game, because beforehand, you know, Lulu was decimated. There was 3 of them, and on Reba Beach, the whole time was like, whoever gets Lulu on their side will win the game.
Yep.
And when we got put in, me and Drew on Reba, Brando and Kendra on Bello, and then one Lulu in the middle, it was like, okay, I like all of our baskets are going to go on to bringing Emily. We will not vote for Emily against her. She either works with us or sends one of us home. Like that's non-negotiable. We need to get Lulu on our side so that we can, you know, win the ultimate war at the end of the day. So we worked really hard on, you know, talking with her, becoming her friends, bringing her into the strategy, which honestly was like a lot easier than expected. Not because like she, you know, was like easy to fool or anything, because we weren't fooling her. We were genuinely like good friends with her. We really enjoyed her, especially like at the beginning of the season. Like we were all kind of just like, who is this Emily girl?
Because she was over there acting a fool, child.
Yeah, she comes out of the boat and starts like, you know, being sassy, being like, oh my gosh, Bruce, can I, you know, say something about that? Like, you know, whatever she said. But we kind of thought that she was going to be like a pain to work with. And as soon as like we actually met her, we were like, wait, Emily's like kind of awesome. Like I would want to work with her regardless of if I needed to or not. So it worked out. And I remember, you know, coming back from that amulet advantage, I wanted the sandwiches. Like I definitely wanted the sandwiches. So I came back and I told the whole group that like, oh yeah, no, I didn't get anything. I sold it as best as I could. And then when I first met with Drew, it was like, listen, Drew, you're my number one, like through and through. I want to make our decisions together. Should we tell Emily about this advantage? If you say, no, I won't. If you think I should, I will. I think I should, just to make sure you're safe. He's like, yeah, tell her. And I think that was ultimately like the final hook needed to like get her on our side, knowing that we had this extra power. And kind of the whole story that we were telling her was, okay, you work with us. we're gonna be this little pendulum. We'll take out someone from Bella, we'll take out someone from Reba, we'll take out someone from Bella, and in the end, it'll be you, me, and Drew as the final 3. And I think that really worked for our favor. Where Bello, Brando, and Kendra, they were more being like, hey, like let's work together here, and then when we get to the merge, we'll try to protect you.
Exactly.
So we gave like a better pitch to her ultimately at the end of the day.
Yeah, very real. How do you feel like Emily's chances are in 50? Like, you've seen a little bit of her, you know her from experience. What do you think?
I mean, I think right now it looks good. You know, with someone like Emily, her most difficult part of the game is right in the beginning. You know, she is by no means a challenge beast. You can just look at her challenge record to kind of get the idea.
Not the shade.
But you let her get cooking and she will cook. And I think she's learned a lot from her first season, and she's very well insulated. I think like both Rick and Christian are bigger targets than she is. So if someone starts attacking their alliance, I think they'll go for a Christian or a Rick versus an Emily. So I think she's in a really good spot right now. The only downside I think right now is this past episode, she kept saying like, I want Ozzy out.
Yeah.
And Sari was very like, no, I don't want Ozzy out. Like this might be an issue. And I think in Sari's eyes, Ozzy's a much closer ally to her than Emily is, especially after Ozzy gave her the advantage. So if Emily keeps pushing for Ozzy, I think that could be trouble for
issue.
Emily. But besides that, I think she's in a good spot.
Okay, period. What about Dee? What do you think Dee's chances are? She's the only winner left in the game. We didn't see much of her gameplay, but you know her gameplay. What do you think?
I think so. Dee's superpower in Survivor is that she's really, really good at like assessing vibes. Like she knows when something is off. She has a really good bullshit radar on her. I think those are her specialties. Being the last winner left, I think is interesting because I'm very interested to see when they go into the next challenge and she realizes and everyone realizes there's only one winner left. I guess. Yeah, I'm assuming everyone knew that Savannah was the winner.
Yeah, it was probably like,
yeah. So they'll come back and see that, and I think that might like make her act like extra aggressive or like trying to do whatever she can to make sure that same fate doesn't happen to her. So I'm very curious, but I feel like I don't really know too much about the dynamics of her tribe, but she seems to be like in a fine spot. Like I don't think I've heard like she's given a few confessionals being like, oh my gosh, like this guy's a weirdo or this tribe's dysfunctional or whatever. I don't think anyone has said something like, D, I gotta get her out. Maybe Chrissy. So it sounds like maybe like a Chrissy battle might happen.
But then they're tribe swapping. I don't know if Chrissy and D are on the same tribe as they swap, but that everything's gonna even shift anyways, honestly, with the positioning. So it'll be interesting.
That's a good point. And I don't know. I don't really have a good read on her right now, just because I feel like we've gotten less of that tribe in general. So it's hard to know the dynamics. And I don't know how the new tribes are split. I don't know if that's out there yet.
Yeah. There's been some tea out there. I don't got the tea right now though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure it is out there. Fans find everything. So I'm sure we know somewhere. We just look it up.
All right, Austin. The people have some questions for you. Let's see some of their questions. Let's hear what they're asking. We have Benedict Lee says, who would you want to be your friend, and who do you think would be a foe if you were on Survivor 50? Ooh. Matter of fact, I could pull up the cast. Let's look at the cast.
Oh, that's helpful. Friend or foe?
Friend or foe? Hold on, it's not here. Let's add it. There you go. Friend or foe?
Okay. Friend. Let's see. I think Tiff would be a friend.
Period.
I mean, Tiff would for sure be a friend.
You know her in real life, or
I do know her in real life.
There you go.
But we don't like hang out all the time. We're friends, and I think we would vibe together on the beach. Honestly, I would totally work with a coach. I feel like that just for my own fun, just for the story. And it's tough. I mean, like, I feel like in general, I could be friends with most of these. I'm trying to think of like who would be like my biggest foe.
Yeah.
I'm almost more wary of the new era players versus the old era in terms of friend versus foe.
Okay.
I think like the way that I played 45 and the way that a lot of people might have seen me after watching my season is being like, okay, this guy wants to play a loyal game. This guy is looking for ride or dies, looking for, strong advantages, which is all true. Like I would want to kind of play for the most part a similar style game.
Yeah.
And I think that resonates a lot with like the older school players. It's tough. I mean, the people from 45 are the biggest question marks for me. If I were to go out and play, like how they would react to that. I think with like Emily, for example, even though we worked together and we were close on 45, at the end of the day, like I didn't protect her when she got sent home, and that could come out and bite me. She will have the power, especially with her, Christian, and Rick together. Like I feel like I would be very nervous being in that tribe. Even though I love them all individually and would love to play with them, I just don't know if they would all want to play with me.
Okay, you are very good at being congenial. Who is a foe? I need a name.
A foe? Okay, let's see.
I need a name, please.
See, I wish. Okay, let me think. A foe would be. Let's go through this. A foe.
You come on. Somebody, it's 24 people.
I'm trying to find the best foe. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like a Mike could be a foe. Mike.
Okay. Why Mike? Interesting.
With Mike. Well, first he said his foe. I feel like I remember seeing that he claimed Charlie to be a foe.
Okay. Yes.
And I think I'm similar to Charlie in the sense where I would not be casted for being like a wacky, over-the-top character, like a coach, for example, or a Q. And I think that's who Mike wants to move forward in this game. He just wants the most entertaining game possible. And, I feel like I'm less messy than some of these other players. So I think he's going to be like, yeah, Austin, he has a girlfriend. He's not going to, have some showman's thing this time. So maybe we'll just send him home.
Okay. I know that's right.
Yeah. So I would say him. Yeah, well, there's a name.
I'll take that name. I'll take it. What's your zodiac sign?
Scorpio.
Okay, girl. I'm just wondering. Let's see the next question. We have, if someone had flipped their vote for D and you and her had tied at the final tribal council, oh my God, I have a stat for you. You were like the first person since Winners at War who was a runner-up with multiple votes, like who actually had a chance to win from Winners at War till your season, because so many people were getting no shade, no votes. But yes, if someone had flipped their vote and y'all tied, how do you think Jake would have voted? Who do you think Jake would have voted to win if he had the tiebreaker?
Yeah, I honestly think Jake probably would have voted for D. I think my best bet was if Sifu was in Caleb's jury spot.
Got you.
Caleb was like, he's a big talker, and I'm sure he helped influence a lot of the jury. And I think Sifu would have voted for me, and then maybe with one less like very vocal voice for D out on the jury, I would have had a better chance. In terms of Final Tribal Council, that was an interesting. Final Tribal Council was interesting because the edit kind of jumbled things around, where it kind of showed, like having this argument going back and forth, and then D drops his mic at the end being like, oh, by the way, like I told Julie, that's why why Emily went home. When really that happened early on in Final Tribal Council. And then I spent the rest of Final Tribal clawing back. And at the end of the day, like, I think I had a better Final Tribal. That's what at least the jury told me. I was able to flip over Kendra, and then, even Emily and Kelly both said that they almost swapped over to me too at the end. But I think my biggest issue going into Final Tribal Council was during each of the prior tribals. That's where you really have the time to kind of like showcase your game and what you're doing to the players. But I worked really hard in the other tribals to like hide all my cards. Like I didn't want anyone, because I knew I was playing a good game, and I didn't want anyone that I was playing with to know that, because I had a final 3 pact with everyone in the game once Bruce was gone. So like I wanted to stay in that final 3 with everybody, because I wanted everyone to think that they might have a chance of beating me. But it's a double-edged sword, because at the end, on the other side of it, it's like I wasn't able to like really show the jury what I was doing until the last tribal. So even though I was able to, switch people over, the momentum was so far against me by that point that it was just a very big uphill battle.
Yeah, very real. All right, next question. From Drake. Drake says, do you think being an alternate changed the way you played the game? We kind of talked about that already a little bit.
Yeah. I think it did. I think I was able to play a little bit more free. I do think I might have been able to be a little bit more ruthless had I not been an alternate.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely feeling every single day I would wake up and be like, oh, I'm just so happy. Like, holy cow, I can't believe I'm playing this game. I was just in awe. But if I had that extra 2 months to be like, you're playing this game, then I would wake up being like, all right,
a little more growth
right now, so I think that mind shift might have
shifted
impacted how I played the game. Who knows? It might have hurt me though. So
are there any other shows you would do in the future? You would want to do in the future?
Yeah, I think the number of shows and the types of shows that I'm willing to do are definitely different and smaller than what it was before.
Okay.
I think my top shows that I would love to do, Australian Survivor is probably number one. Something like the Traders would be obviously so much fun, but
yes,
chances of that are probably not super high. And then I don't know. I would do like some random fun competition shows that they have on these.
The challenge after a 3-week trek on the island on the mountain.
Well, I've been asked for the past couple seasons of the challenge, but I turned it down just because I don't know. I think where I'm at right now, that would hurt me more than help me being on the challenge. It's real. Well, first I'd have to quit my job because it's like 6 weeks or 3 months or whatever of filming. The pay isn't like incredible or anything, and it's just like super messy. And I don't think, as someone in a relationship, I would thrive in that environment as much as I might have at a different time, or I would on a different show.
Come on, maturity. I know that's right. I like that. Were you asked for Survivor 50 at all? Did you get a call?
No, and I think it's with me dating Jeff's niece, I think I don't think that would be a good look for now. So so no, I'm kind of like out of the
rotation of
play Survivor right now. Yeah,
got you. I didn't even think of that. That's a amazing point. Makes sense. All right, next question. Pete says, how would you approach being on an all-star season with someone you originally played with but were not close to? And he uses example Tiffany and Charlie, because you mentioned Emily and Dee. How it would be weird because they experienced you, but what about Brando? Or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's tough because if it's someone that I feel like I betrayed or I sent home, I would be so terrified that they would like, want to get revenge, or they'd be like, I can't let that happen to me again. I have to get them first. So it's really tricky and scary. I think best case scenario is if I'm on an all-star season with someone who I played with, but I didn't really have many interactions with. And I would want to work with them for sure. Yeah. I think most of my cast, my default would be, I want to play with you. Like, I want to work with you. I want 45 to take home the W. There are a couple people I'd be a little nervous about, because of how the season went, like probably both people on 50, I would be a little bit nervous about. But for the most part, yeah, I would want to rock with someone that I played with before.
Period. I know that's right. All right. Someone asked, how do you think the game would have gone if you never gave Julie your idol? That was a thing that did happen. You did do that.
I did. And I kind of got screwed where, I think the advantages and the idols on my season were the weakest they have ever been in the history of the show.
Oh, damn. Okay. You dragging it. The history of the show is crazy.
My idol, it took me 7 days of digging.
They made you work. They did.
And then finally I got it. There's 3 steps. I had to decode a puzzle. I had to dig for literal like days. And then I had to smash these rocks or whatever. That was easy, whatever. And then I get this idol and it's like, it's good for 1 tribal council. Yeah. Unless you sacrifice your vote, then it'll last till the merge. Then you got to sacrifice your vote again in order to, upgrade it to a regular idol that most people just find, in one day or whatever. Yeah. So that was annoying. So I spent the first half of the game playing these little side quests where I was like, how can I make sure I sacrifice my vote, keep upgrading my idol without anyone knowing that I'm not voting? So I was like really pushing in the beginning. I was like, okay, no split votes. Screw the split votes. We need to put all our votes on one person. That way people can't be counting all the different votes and stuff. And then Caleb hit the shot in the dark. So then all the votes were still red, even though I was able to, Drew and I worked so hard to make sure all votes were on Caleb so that no one would be able to count the differences in votes and all that stuff. Then, they got the shot in the dark, read all the votes. I'm like, oh my gosh, my cover's blown. Luckily, everyone was just so shocked at the moment that they couldn't, they didn't realize.
They didn't count them. And it was a lot of votes.
Red. Yeah. And then what was worse too was like, I got the amulet. I had to freaking vote out 2 people to upgrade it finally. And then that only lasted to the final 6. The idol lasted to the final 5, but I was not allowed to give my amulet to anyone else. Like that had to stay with mine. So I had to give Julie the stronger idol. I think things would have been different if I gave her the idol that expired at final 6. I think one of the reasons why we kind of went at Julie when we did was because she had the only idol left in the game at final 5, and we're like, okay, if she's here at final 5, she's going to use that idol, get to final 4, and she, after me, was the best fire maker in the cast, and I think she was the only one I was worried might be able to beat me at fire. So it was just scary, and and I think that did throw a wrench in our plans, just having this idol. And I gave her the idol with the intention that she would give it back, obviously, but I also lost the fact that I already had a separate idol. I can't just go back and be like, hey, give me my idol back.
But you can though. But
if I did that, what do you think she would have done?
I mean, would D have let her do that?
No, they had discussions. They had discussions on the side being like, if Austin asks for your idol back, that means they're planning to get you out.
That's true. I see, and I understand that. And I don't even think you giving her the idol it makes sense. The scenario y'all were kind of in a position where you needed to preserve all of your numbers. It makes sense that you needed to give her the idol at the point you did. So where do you think, what could you do? Differently, I guess.
I felt like I didn't really even need the idols too much because I wasn't in danger, but it was tough. And basically we were just like, I can't ask for it back because I know that's going to flag something to them. They could just say no, because as soon as I give it to her, it's hers.
Exactly.
There's no obligation to give it back to me. And we still needed to get through a couple votes together. And I didn't want to cause this issue. But it kind of was a reason, like the fact that she didn't give it back to me was another reason. I was like, all right, well, if she's not going to give it back or offer it to me, then she's got to go home.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So
do you feel like this scenario affected you winning the game at all? Or do you kind of feel like it was just the jury, the way you handled the jury, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, it ultimately gave the winning move over me, which was telling her to play this idol that I gave her. So if that were the case, I think, I would have had a better shot at winning too, because it takes away D's best move.
What do you do differently? Like, you go back in time, you can do it all over again. Do you not give Julie the idol at all? Or does it not make sense in that moment to not do that?
I think what I would have done differently is I would have, because we worked together as a foursome to strategically, because the reason why I gave her the idol was, it was final 9 and we had to split into 3 groups of 3 to compete in this challenge where whoever lost their vote. But we didn't know that. All we were told was split yourself into groups of 3 for the challenge. So we thought there was a chance that the losing tribe or losing group of 3 would just go straight to tribal because it's a new era. We had no idea, random twists can happen like that. So I gave her the idol because she was the only one where our allies were not in the majority, because she was with Kendra and Bruce, who probably would have just been like, all right, let's just send home Julie. All of us had someone with us who would work with us. We would have the numbers. We wouldn't need any protection. If I could redo it, I would put myself in the group with 2 people against me.
Gotcha.
Then I could just keep my idol and not have to play. But the issue was we had to do everything in real time so fast. The names are being thrown. We had to quickly find partners with us without it seeming obvious what we were doing, and just how the cards fell. She was the one left with the need for protection.
Understood. All right, what else we got? we have this one. It says, what drew you to Drew, Julie, and D as allies and not J Maya or Sifu? And could you explain the first couple of days?
Yeah. Oh, that's a big question. All those. I have to really reel it back in and figure and re-remember things. So my first ally was Drew. Drew just came, we just really got along really quickly. And I think we were both looking for allies like each other. I was looking for a brain shield so that people would think I was dumb. And he was looking for a meat shield. So it kind of worked out very well. So we naturally formed a group together.
Yes.
Julie and D naturally formed a group together as well. And then, I mean, the reason why not Sifu was because he was just so chaotic.
Yeah, he was acting a fool.
Like 30 minutes in, he's looking for idols. He's like, by day 3, he's made 4 fake idols. He's just like, it was just like, I felt like working with him would put me in trouble. Like he could just screw up my game, just because he wanted to do something funny or something. So it just felt like he wasn't a stable ally for me at the time. And then with J Maya, actually the very first alliance that I made on Survivor was me, Drew, and Jay.
Okay.
We made this alliance, but I just felt as the days kind of went on, she wasn't really talking with me as much. We weren't like connecting as well. Like she was kind of gravitating towards Julie and D. And then I also felt like, I don't know, like I felt like she was maybe hiding a bit about like who she was and her background. And like, it just felt like there was something like missing, like something like, like I felt like when I was talking with her, she was like scheming a bit, but
that makes sense.
Yeah. And I guess
how quick did y'all like form the Reba 4? What day was that? Do you know?
I want to say maybe like day 3 or something.
Okay. It was pretty early.
Officially. Yeah. I think by day 2 I was locked in with Drew. And then by day 3 we were like, you need a majority, and we've got a pair here. You guys have got a pair there. We like each other. Why don't we just have this majority?
Lock in. Yeah. All right. I know that's right. One more segment. I want to play a little game with you real quick. I know we've been playing a lot of games, but I want to play a little game with you real quick.
I love games.
All right, cool. Let's see. So I'm going to pull this up first. Let's see what it's called. Reba 4, the remix.
Oh.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up a potentially familiar Survivor tribe. And I'm going to do this a few times. And I want you to pick which 3 people from these tribes would you want to be in your Reba 4, the remix. Let's start it off. We have the Vatu tribe from Survivor 50. You have to pick 3 people.
3 more? 3 people. All right. For the 3, I'm snagging. Ooh, okay. We're gonna get Genevieve out there. We're gonna get oh, that's so tough. This is a tough game. I'm gonna go
that's right.
Genevieve, Aubrey.
Okay.
And one of the dudes. I'm gonna go with, oh, that's so tough. Oh, I'm gonna go Rizzo.
Okay. Genevieve, Aubrey, Rizzo. Why those 3? You feel like you can mesh with them?
Honestly, it's interchangeable because I think a lot of these people here could be in it. I think the reason is you need a good diverse group. You need people who have different niches. And I also feel like what you also need to make sure is that within your group of 4, you have at least 2 locked in allies that you could be, rocking with. And, I just, we're already seeing Genevieve and Aubrey are having some potential beef with each other. So I want the cracks between 2 other people in my group. Yeah. So then when push comes to shove at the end, I could be on top of that group,
Okay. We got another one. Let's see. Let's do this one actually. We've got the Lulu tribe.
Boy.
This picture is rough. Pick your 3 from the Lulu tribe.
That is tough. This is tough.
Good luck.
Oh my gosh. Good tough. I mean, because they're all just so funny. I mean, I need Brandon Donlin. He'll make me laugh nonstop.
Okay.
Let's do Brandon. Let's do Brandon, Caleb, Emily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sabai was a close. I wanted Sabai to. I mean, all of them are good. I just feel like once again, you got to get the mix of ability.
You got to get a mix. Okay. All right. Let's do this one. Sela Tribe.
Ooh boy. Okay. Let's get. Ooh, Christian, Sari, and Ozzy for this.
Okay. So this is my question. Now I have to follow up. Do you want to lose? Because Sari in your final four is giving D-Flash, man. It's giving Mother's gonna eat it up. What's your plan for these? You talking about Kristen Sari?
You know what? I'll take her out on fire. It's okay.
Okay, you're right. Damn. And unfortunately, you might be right. All right, let's try Kahlo Tribe.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's go. Tiff, Coach. Tiff, Coach, and I said Foe, but I'm gonna go Mike here.
You finna piss me off because that's how I knew you lied about the Foe. I knew you lied about the Foe because why is Mike White in the?
Well, here's the thing. This is assuming that this is the four, like a core four.
Okay.
The original one is like we get all thrown to the island. Who do I think might be coming for me? This one is like we're already locked in. Who do I want to be locked in with? Is how I'm interpreting it.
So if you're locked into this, who do you feel is your number one? Tiff, Coach, Mike. Who you got?
I'll go Tiff.
Okay, I know that's right. A queen. All right, last tribe I want you to do. This is the last tribe I want you to do. Hold on. I lied. It's not the last tribe I want you to do. I don't have it, so we're good. We're locking it. We're done. We're finished.
Stressful, man. I mean, this is tough.
Right. I had it going. Let's wrap it up. Austin, anything else you want people to know, people to think about, people to feel about you, people to find you at? What else?
I mean, it's just been a blast. Survivor, the whole community is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything that you're doing and bringing to it. I love like how this is like, we talked about the episode and stuff, but I love how the focus is just on, like life outside the game, in the game, talking through things. It was really fun to kind of just like go back and from my audition tape to clips of my season, it's just fun to relive through and talk through. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm having a good time in LA doing brand management and awesome. I might not be playing Survivor anytime soon, but we'll see what other opportunities come.
We'll see. Where can people find you? Do you have a place where you're posting stuff, where you're doing stuff? Tell them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Instagram at awesomely Coon. I have a TikTok too that's where my girlfriend posts a lot. So follow my girlfriend. I think it's like Apropes 2000 or something. I think so. Because she's got more content of me than I have of me, and she'll post some funny videos. And actually, I think recently she posted her DM to me on
oh yes,
I think on TikTok. Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
Give her a follow, and she's got some fun stuff.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. Thank you, Austin, for joining me. Thank you guys for keeping it real with the kingdom, and we're out. Bye.
Awesome.